Hi, folks. Welcome to the Ham Radio Newbie. I'm Jeff. I'm the Ham Radio Newbie. Today, we're going to talk about why we should log. Got to be honest, I'm not a great logger. Or I should say, I wasn't. I'll talk about that in a minute. But first, take a look at my new splash screen, courtesy of my buddy Shane. Kilo Foxtrot 5, India Sierra Zulu. Hope you like that. If you don't, let me know in the comments. And, if you have suggestions, I'll take care of it. I like it. I think it's fun. Anyway, let's talk about why it's important to log and why we should log. Now, I'm a scuba diver, and I've been diving for a very long time. And both my wife and my old dive buddy are fanatics about logging. They log everything, the temperature and the clarity and the location and anything they saw and. Me, you're lucky if I put down where we were and the date. And sometimes I even put down how much weight I used. The reason was it really just wasn't that important to me. I wasn't doing anything with it. I know if there's an incident, if there's an accident, it's good information for the folks to be able to go back for. But, all of that's in the dive computers now. Well, that's not quite the same with radio. For radio, it's really important to log more for other people than it is for ourselves. What do I mean by that? Well, if the person that you had a QSO with is doing a contest or is doing a POTA activation, which is really a contest, or is doing any number of other things, they may want to know. They need to be able to have the verification that you did that you made that contact with them. Both sides agree that this contact actually occurred. Now, there are a couple of ones that are considered the Holy Grails, the Bibles, the one that we use. One of them is Logbook of the World. Another is QRZ. I'm not a big fan of either of them. However, that doesn't keep me from logging. I could use a different one, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, the one from World Radio League. I can log it, and it integrates so things automatically get put into those two logbooks. And again, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for the person on the other side. Let's talk about QRZ for just a moment. QRZ is pretty good. Let's take a look at what it looks like. So this is the QRZ website, and you'll notice the URL is just qrz.com. And you'll notice when you first come in, there's a lot of information on it, a lot of ads. There's the link to the weather, which I do use, or I have used a couple of times. There's some just cool stuff, and it gets updated relatively frequently. But once you log on and realize that this is a free account and it's a free log, you can go to your page. They give you a page that allows you to put stuff about yourself and little things like you can show a picture of what my shack used to look like. I need to refresh this picture. But it helps people understand a little bit about you. You also get awards for doing various things over time. And that's actually one of the reasons that it's important to log, because the awards themselves are not that, they're bragging rights, right? They're really not that important. But right now, there's a couple of contests going on. It's the first week of January 2026. And if you make a POTA activation or a certain number of POTA activations, you get one of these badges that's over here. There's another one, which I'm going to shoot for. It's in honor of the 250th anniversary of the United States becoming a country. If you get 250 confirmed, I'll come back to that in a second, confirmed logbook entries, well, then you get another badge. Let's look at the logbook. So the logbook is pretty basic. It's just when did it occur, the band. I thought I had the frequency too, perhaps not. The most important thing here is this little star, these little gold stars. No, they're not what you got in kindergarten for being a good kid and doing your homework. Rather, this is how you know who has confirmed your contact. What does confirmed mean? It means that I've entered it in QRZ and the other person is. Now, this morning when I was on with KD4DM, um, he's the one who actually mentioned the contest and that he's going in, he's doing a POTA activation. So he obviously hasn't updated everything in QRZ.com yet. And that's kind of one of the drawbacks that I see about this method and the one I'm going to show you in just a second. Now, one of the reasons that I do use QRZ.com is because they are one of the hallmarks. Them and Logbook of the World are the ones that people use for contests predominantly. Now, World Radio League, this one here, is trying to do that as well, but they're not quite there yet. They're relatively new, so it may be a little while before they get up into it. Regardless, I prefer this logging. But again, to do it from here, I'd have to do it from the computer. And I don't like having my computer open and running all the time when I'm trying to operate. Sometimes I just don't feel like opening it up. And sometimes I just don't want the noise, the additional noise, heat, whatever. What I like about World Radio League, first of all, I like the layout. It includes a little more information, like how far they are from me. It includes the mode, the frequency, and the send and receive signal reports. Yes, it says 59, not 5/9, but it's good to have. What I really like is this. There's an app, at least on Android. I think there's one on iOS as well, and I can enter it right here from my phone. I've always got my phone out. My phone doesn't tend to create any RF noise that the radios pick up, so it's just easier for me to use it. It's one less thing that I've got to start. And like I said, I like the interface better. It's just a preference thing. This too is free. There's no advertising in there. They do ask you to join and to pay a little bit. I have done that because it's a good product and I kind of like it. Now let's talk about why we should log. Once you pick where you're going to log, you need to pick what you're going to log. Now, I should have added beginning. I don't have any third-party software. I just use the apps to do my logging. There are a lot of people who like certain apps that they get. And you know what? Whatever it is that you like the best, the two things that I would recommend is, number one, get something that's easy for you to use, something that you find the user interface and the user experience enjoyable. Second is make it convenient. And that convenience means put it one place and have it do the work to send the QSOs over to Logbook of the World, QRZ, or World Radio League, wherever they're going to be. Because those are the ones that people are going to care about, because those are the ones where the contests are. Now, if you're the one doing the contest, you do need to look at what other people are using. So I think that sometime this year, probably closer to the spring, I'm going to go out and do some POTA activations. I'm curious. Everybody seems to enjoy doing it. Well, maybe not everybody, but enough people seem to enjoy doing it that I want to try it. I don't want to have to lug around my laptop and everything else. I'm just going to take my phone because I'd be taking my phone anyway. So let's talk about what's important to log. Obviously, your call sign, that should be filled in automatically in whatever logging tool you're using. If it's not, I'd recommend finding a different logging tool. You need to log in the other person's call sign. To do that, I recommend keeping a pad next to you. And this is what I do. I just literally write down his call sign, some other information about it, like sometimes the frequency, if I'm not able to put it in right away, the reports, write it in, and then when I get it done, when I get it entered into the logbook, I cross it out. You can do that no matter what you use. No matter which tool you use, pen and paper work great. The other things that I like to capture are the frequency and certainly the band and then the mode. Is it SSB? Is it FT8, FT4, or CW? Whatever it is, capture it because different people do different things. And this way you can start looking at where you get your best responses. I know that I spent a lot of time on voice phone with 20 meters, very little on 40 meters. I also do most of my contacts on FT8, again, 20 meters. It's just convenient to be able to see where it is that you operate, and you may even want to write down some notes like which radio you're using, what power levels you're using, what settings, how you've had your antenna tilted if you're doing something like that. I know that when I'm trying to do not true DX, because I haven't done any true DX yet, but when I'm trying to go for distance, I may play with it, like do it at night. So I'll put a note in there that, hey, this was at 11 p.m. CST, so that I know that that's a good time for getting parts of Africa. I've reached Angola and South Africa there, which really made me feel excited and happy. And okay, it's just FT8. It's not like I actually talked to a person, but we still made a contact, and I still enjoy the fact that it's there. And, you know, I'm still new at this, so maybe it's still just bragging rights. And at some point, unless I get some little country like, you know, Vanuatu or Somalia, that there aren't a lot of operators. Until I get one of those, maybe I'll be hunting those for a long time. But who knows? So we'll see. But those are the main things that I capture. The person's call sign, the frequency, the mode, SSB or FT8. I do try to capture the signal reports. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Those get defaulted to 5.9, and since people in the POTA world tend to say everything's 5.9, okay. And then any notes that I've got about it. Again, just to sum it up, log. Get into the habit, start writing it down, put it in the logbook, make sure it's something that's integrated with either QRZ or Logbook of the World, or preferably both, so that others know that you received them, that you heard them. If it's not important to you, fine. It is important to other people. If you're one of the people that it's important to, I promise, if we have an HF communication, a QSO, I will score it. I don't necessarily going to do that for UHF, VHF, because they're more casual, at least right now. Anyway, if you've got questions, if you've got comments, I really am curious what other people think. So if you've got a comment, please, let's fill up the comment section, because it's good stuff to know. By the way, if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you liked what you heard, please like it. If you didn't like it, tell me why. Tell me what I should do differently, and we'll go from there. Until then, I'm Jeff, the ham radio newbie, saying 73, and catch you on the air.